Hey, my name's Joey Mason, owner of Mason Hills. We're here again at our farm store, Four Bulls, at the farm. And we got Jack Williams, Senator Jack Williams, running for Ag Commissioner here with us. He's come all the way down to talk to us, and you really support agriculture, and it's a really honor for you to be here.
Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
Joey.
Yes, sir. So I'm going to read through a little introduction for it right quick. You was born in Mobile County in 1955. Raised on a family farm. Has lived his entire life in District 102 and graduated from Mary G. Montgomery. Senator Williams has been married to his wife Bobby for 40 years and together own and operate the J Bar W farm where they raise cattle, timber, and hay, and they actively support 4-H. In 1986, Senator Williams started Twin Oaks Nursery in Wilmer, and in 2004 purchased Tom Dodd Nursery in Sims. His sons John owns and operates those businesses. He and his wife are raising their 2 grandchildren following the deaths of their daughter and son-in-law. Senator Williams and his wife are members of the Wilmer Baptist Church. He's a member of the Alabama Senate, representing District 34 since 2018, and is a member of the Alabama House of Representatives.
Great job, but I've been married 50 years.
Okay, 50 years.
And my grandson has a cattle farm now, running the cattle farm.
And he runs the cattle farm now too?
My grandson, he's
Your
27.
grandson. And your son still run the nursery?
He has the nursery, he owns it completely out now.
How have they been doing?
The nursery business has been really great because COVID was really good to the nursery business because the stores we shipped to all stayed open. So we actually couldn't produce enough. So, I mean, where it hurt a lot of people, you know, we were one of them, it really helped.
In the ag business, and you've had a long history in the ag business, have you seen it change pretty good, or what changes have you seen take place in our state?
Well, in our state, you know, in 84, we were running 250 sow operation. And a few years after that, after I went into the nursery business, the hogs was obsolete. We had no slaughterhouses left or anything. So, and back then everybody had pigs from the Driscolls down here. I mean, everybody had them because of the fact it was a cash crop. Every week you had a sale. They may have lost money this week and gained money 3 weeks down the road, but year in, year out, you always had money coming in. So that was, farmers then was more diversified than they are today. I think we had a lot of young farmers come in that seen the old farmers like me doing 100 acres of watermelons and washing hog pens, and they didn't want to do that. They wanted to plant soybeans and corn and get the devil out of there on the weekends, what they wanted to do. You know, and I think that hurt our farms in one way because, like I said, they wasn't diversified. And today I've seen the changes of the parents can't even give them the farm to do because they can go off and work at the steel mill or somewhere down here and make $80,000 or $90,000 starting out on a job. We train them in the schools for it. I got kids that left Citrus High School making $80,000 the first week they went to work. I mean, how are you going to attract them to come back to the farm and work when they can work 4 days a week there and be off 3 and go fishing or do what they want? I mean, it's a tough life. You got to really want to be in agriculture to be in it.
And it hasn't always been that way, right?
No, I think coming up in my age, everybody that was in farming wanted to stay in farming. I mean, it's a good life. It's just a hard life. Of course, we didn't know any better. That's all we'd ever done, you know. I've never been off the farm. I mean, I remember back when I was knee-high riding my granddaddy's knee through the cow fields. I mean, we were out there that young at 5 and 6. We were working, doing something. You could pick up eggs. You could, at 7 and 8, you're raking hay and driving the truck down the center of them. I mean, they had a job for you somewhere, I promise you. And we knew nothing but work, like I said. You know, then we didn't use the herbicides we use now. So like our soybean fields and all, we had to walk them after they plowed them. And any weeds in the middle, you pulled them out and dropped them down the road, you know. It just, everything has changed, you know.
And some of it's been for the good, but obviously
Yes.
some of it has been not for the good.
Yeah, like I said, the worst is our kids don't want to go into farming, and I'm trying to come up with some kind of, you know, one of my plans is to work on trying to get old farmers to adopt somebody that really wants to go into a farming. And I mean, I know it wouldn't be adopted, but let him work with him and build interest in the farm and then try to come up with a tax rate that the farmer can actually sell it to him, and the farmer wouldn't lose so much money because they're going to phase out and it's going to be sold anyway. And if you really want to keep tradition of farming coming on, that's going to be a good way if we can figure out a plan to do it. You know.
So I've just started cattle farming 4 years ago, and I've come into it because I love doing this. Yeah. I love being out with the cows. I love working cows. And then I built a beef processing plant, the only one on our farm that is USDA inspected.
Yeah.
And that allows us to be able to control everything from start to finish. But this has been, this venture has been astronomically expensive.
Yes, sir.
Astronomically tough. And what do you think are some ways that, well, like people getting into it, you know, it's like, I heard the statement the other day, if you want to be a millionaire in farming, you first need to start out as a billionaire.
Yeah, where you go down. You know, I'm hoping, you know, I mean, far as me, and I love the commissioner because he's done a lot, believe me. But through COVID, money was easy to come by. I want to have my own grant writers there besides the ones that are there, where we can go after every money, because Tennessee, Georgia, all those states are getting way more grants than we are, and down to just the farmers getting them. I don't think we're well aware of some of these grants for irrigation systems and stuff to rebuild them if they're old and all this. And I talked to a lady the other day that was from Washington, a grant writer that works on ag, and she was telling me it can come down to 10 words, you know, on there that you put in wrong. You may have should have put in, I've got to ship this product 10 miles on 8 trucks a day. And just them few words could change the whole aspect of it. I think we need to have somebody in the commissioner's office also that'll be helping the general public, the farmers and stuff, write the grant or help them write the grant, because most farmers don't know how to write a grant and don't even know how to hire nobody, to be honest, you know. So if we had somebody in that office, I don't see where it would be a bad thing to have them there to go out to the farm, or to them come to her or whoever to write the grants and get them wrote up and try to submit all of them we can. Because I talked to, like I said, I talked to a guy in Georgia that does it, and he said, man, we used every grant we had for irrigation and all, and Alabama didn't even apply for none. So,
well, we've applied for some for it was called a value-added producers grant. And what the grant was to give us marketing dollars, matching marketing dollars, was $250,000 on a grant. And so over the course of 3 years, we could spend $250,000. They would match the $250,000. We've applied for that once, I think maybe twice, and each time we have been denied. And it was, you know, you need to have so many points, and we were just shy of those points. And so I think, like you said, it is down to like 2 words. You know, and so it's very difficult.
Everyone's saying having somebody that's really professional at it,
yeah,
especially one that's already working up there with ag, you know. Another big deal for us, you know, for me, which I'm already making calls to Washington, have been the whole time, is our migrant worker situation, the pay scale that they went up on. You know, for me, at the nursery, he had 150 sent home at one time. All legal, we have to furnish housing and all that. But what it does is put a bad taste in our graduates from Auburn, other people we've hired out in the field. It puts a bad taste in their mouth because you can pay them $20 an hour and they don't carry home what our migrant workers carry home. And then they got to pay for their house, their vehicle, and all of that, their power bill, where our migrant workers are getting it free. And most people don't see that. We have to have them no matter what. But it does put a bad taste. And even in the fields now, if you got one out there in the field working, these are all picking watermelons. This one's driving the truck. He's $2 or $3 dollars an hour more. And even at that point, the Mexicans, migrant workers, get mad and they beat him up. They can't room them together because he's got the easy job and he's making more money. But it's the law, what we have to do, what they put on us to do. And it's just not right.
And that comes from a federal level? Is that
federal
correct?
level, yeah.
And so
believe me, we've talked to, I'm sorry, I mean,
no, it's fine.
We've talked to Katie Britt, we've talked to Tommy Tuberville. That's one reason we want, if we cannot get that knocked down, we want a 1-year farm bill. We want to go back and figure this thing out in another year. If they pass a 1 year right now, it's not good for the farmers what they've got in there. It's below cost on on what they pay back and all this. It's below what we need to even make, to stay steady and pay for the crop. But so we need to come back, redraw it, get some people in there to explain to them. And I think now we have a new director, so I think we can get it changed. But like I say, usually we do it every 4 to 5 years. We need this one to just go 1 year and then do a farm deal.
So explain to me a little bit, because I'm new to agriculture, I'm new to politics. You said there are farm bills that come out, and they help set what? The price of?
They set the price of crops. They set the price of what they're going to pay back if you have a disaster crop.
Okay.
And when it's below what you've got in that crop, you're out.
Right.
And as it stands today, a young farmer can't even do that. He cannot go to the bank and borrow the money, to be honest.
They can't.
And that's one of the programs I've talked about that I wanted to change, because as this money comes back in off these slaughterhouses, it's going to be a good 15 million plus whatever interest. I believe we could put some cattle producers, young farmers, loan them the money, maybe even the first year, and I don't know the legal aspect of it, free, and then charge, I believe by then, the interest rate will be down more than it is at 4%
Right,
to be able
right.
to do something to loan it out. And I just think that's a way to get some young farmers back in it too. Like I say, if we don't help them to keep some in it, and who's going to do it? It's no different than the ones that we've helped grow some food for the schools,
Right.
and now they're ripping it out from under them, which I do think the program will come back. The Senate will fund our part, but there is people, that's totally what they're doing is growing vegetables for the schools and stuff.
Well, and we see a
And
lot,
meats.
and we see a lot of the row crop farmers getting a lot more than the cattle farmers, and then even the processing plants. What are some ways that you can work with Katie Britt and Tommy Tuberville to make sure that there's equal distribution of funds?
Well, beef has always been under. They don't do a lot for beef. I would love to see them come out with some programs on it, especially in our disaster, because on grass and stuff, when we don't get rain and all, we can apply, but it only applies to certain areas every time. I may have not have got it because I was right on that line, and my field still dried up,
Yes,
and I
sir.
wasn't growing no grass, but I don't know how they come up with the answer to all that. I think they ought to take a picture of the cows and see your grass,
Yeah.
But there's definitely, and all we can do is go in there and ask them and see what we can come up with to help the beef producers, because the beef producers, it's tough. People see the price of beef now, and as a producer, we're grinning because it has went up, but everybody's got to consider how long it's been down, and fertilizer will double what it is today, and what we had to do, how many years we was losing money or working the whole year for nothing, just breaking even, trying to survive, or selling a few extra cows to keep your head afloat.
Right, and then everything's going up because of inflation, or was going up. We think that's kind of stabled out a little bit, hasn't it? I mean, inflation.
Yeah, inflation's supposed to be stabled out. There's still some things like eggs and all. I know there's a shortage of eggs and all that, but at the same time, our egg producers in the state of Alabama get 62 cents a dozen.
Yeah.
And the chicken house is under contract. And we don't raise a lot of eggs here. Our eggs more goes to the hatchery than anywhere else,
So our producers, whenever it was $15 a dozen, were still getting 62
Oh yeah,
cents.
they're still getting 62 cents.
Yeah.
They get 3 cents a piece for the double yolks. That's the cool eggs.
Yeah. Well, what are some? Do you think that we can deregulate some things and make it a little easier? We participated in that in the USDA loan.
Yeah.
That was really good for us. We got a 4% loan, but it was given to our state as a grant from the U.S. government.
It was.
Is there not a way, and I think there's been $11 million of that taken and utilized to help processing plants like ourselves. Is there a way that can be utilized as a grant, since we've talked about those things?
And I'm not positive, but I thought it should have been to start with.
Yeah.
If it was coming to the state as a grant, it didn't say we had to loan it out.
Well,
So,
and
I'm not down in Commissioner Pate
Me
at
either.
all now. I mean,
I've
he's done a
met
great
him. I
job.
like him.
That's what I say. I've been
He-
with him a lot.
But can you make legislation? I know you can't make legislation, but can you talk to Katie Britt and Tommy Tuberville and see about getting legislation? That would be a really huge shot in the arm
Yeah.
for the producers.
And Barry Moore too.
And Barry Moore, that's
he's on
correct.
the ag committee too.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, and that's what I've been doing. I mean,
Yeah.
we've been calling them on every little thing we can just
Yeah.
to get them to bring something up, because we really started calling them on the food programs when it hit that he was cutting that out, you know.
And that happened in March, didn't it? I mean, that happened the first of this
They're
month.
saying they can get it back, you know. It's just going to take a little while because Trump, good or bad, he's tough, and he's bringing everything back to where it needs to be, but it's going to hurt a little bit to start with. You know, now how long we can stand the hurt is a different thing, you know.
Well, it seems like the Trump administration is trying to give the power back to the states.
They are. They're trying to give it to the state. They're trying to give it back to the people. I mean,
And it seems like our state has been really dependent on federal funds. I read the other day or last night when I was doing some research that it makes up about 31.2% of our budget. Federal money coming back to us.
Yeah.
How do we maintain our state sovereignty and continue to make sure that as programs are pulled away, programs are brought in, that it doesn't affect us? It's just a steady flow for everyone.
yeah, and the only way we would be able to do it as a state, I mean, we have to use the money we're getting in,
Okay.
period. We do a balanced budget every year. Every state does, but Bernie Sanders. His does not. That's the only, Vermont's the only state that does not have to have a balanced budget.
Okay.
But every other state does, you know, and of course, if they cut a lot of funding back, we're going to have to cut back. I mean, just to be honest.
Well, and cutbacks are good.
Yeah, they are in some cases.
Right.
In some cases, it's not. It's like the food stamps. You know, that people don't realize it. That comes out of the farm bill. You sell that money in that farm bill, the farmer only gets an inch of it.
That's right.
Really and truly, it's coming back to the farmer. Our food stamps come out of it, which is very needed, but then at the same time, very needed. But at the same time, I've been places because I ride horses some and camp, and I go buy groceries, and here's this guy comes up to me while I'm walking in the grocery store, and you know, he follows me around for a little while, and not just one time, but he offers me. He said, if you'll give me 50 cents on the dollar for these food stamps, I'll sell them to you. He said, my family gets too many of them. We can't use them all. You know,
Well,
where that's funded out of that, the other one's funded out of, you know, it comes from the state, or it comes from the federal government to the state, and then the state divides it, you know.
So the state really is responsible for dividing up the SNAP benefits.
Yes, yes.
So can the state put regulations on what is purchased and what is not purchased?
Yes.
And so I did some more research the other day that said that soft drinks are the #1 purchased thing on SNAP.
Wow. I did not realize that.
And so if, as the ag commissioner, I read, okay, what does an ag commissioner do? Yeah. And it says that you basically make sure that our state is healthy, that it's protected, you know, like we protect agribusiness and those things. Could we not do some different things inside of those bills that kind of require or give incentive to buy from local farmers that, you know, or make sure that, hey, if you buy Alabama grown products, Sweet Grown Alabama has been an amazing thing.
It has, hasn't it?
If you buy Sweet Grown Alabama products with SNAP benefits, you're actually getting a better deal. You're getting 85 cents, you know, you're getting a 15% discount by buying it. Could some of those things help? And that would,
it could all be done for sure.
because I think that that our state really should lead the way in a lot of these things.
And it is leading the way in a lot of them already, but people want stuff grown here.
Yeah,
I mean,
they
they
do.
want to know what they're getting this day and time. It's not like when I was raised, everything come out of the garden or out of the freezer.
Right.
I mean, me and my wife, when they put 5 chicken pot pies on sale for $1, that was like a mule eating briar. We'd grinning so hard going to get them because it was something different, because everything we ate, we grew, you know. You went and bought your staples and that was it. That's not the case today, you know. And we don't even grow enough of beef in Alabama to supply Alabama for sure, even as many cattle is raised. It's the finished off market. And today with the finished off market, when you got calves bringing what they're bringing, a 500-pound calf bringing 3 1/4 pound, the farmers have been in such a bind, they're not going to
That's
hold
correct.
that calf
Yeah, it
and
doesn't
put him
make
on
much
feed.
sense that if this cow at 500 pounds is bringing $1,500, $2,000, why do you want to feed him
That's
out
what
and
I'm
finish
saying.
him out to get him? There's so much risk in that, isn't it?
It is. And like I say, even the produce and all, I mean, we get produce from all over the country, out of Mexico. We're 15 days from the time it's picked there to the time we get it on the shelf or anything and out to the market. Here, you can be eating fresh stuff the next day. I mean,
Well, and it's hard to compete with. Do you? So that brings us to our next question.
and you know what's in it.
Yeah. What do you think the tariffs that are coming April 2nd are going to do to agribusiness? To me, it seems like on paper that it's going to help local. It's going to help the American agribusiness thrive better.
I think it will. And like I say, it's going to be a little sting at first.
Of course.
And stuff. But once we get over that, and I believe you'll see the tariffs come off after a while because of the fact that Trump's going to hold them to it. I mean, he don't play around.
No, sir,
Like I
he
said,
doesn't.
I told him he missed out on a fine commercial. They ought to have him riding on the head of one of them missiles and sitting there and his hair blowing back because he would mash the button
That's
and
right.
take care of the problem.
So what are some ways that, with the farm to school program, and I've been talking with Best Frat and some other folks that are really advocates for farm to school. We talked the other day about what our kids eat is very important, nutritious, and it helps them with their overall ability to learn. How can we reverse some of those Obama-era nutrition mandates to get real, edible, fresh products into our school, even without the $16 million?
The greatest thing that could happen is Trump turn it back over to the states.
Yes, sir.
Then we will decide what our kids eat and what they don't eat. You won't have a half a plate full of stuff they don't eat every day.
Well, they throw a lot away, don't they?
Oh yeah, that's what I say. I've been in the cafeterias, believe me. Most kids aren't going to eat a plate of carrots. They're not going to eat. There's just things they're not going to eat,
Right.
you know. And
Or
plus,
wheat bread,
plus
or
yeah. Plus, if it's our food, we know what's went into that. If it's grown here, we have restrictions. You don't know what's in it coming from another thing. You don't know the nutrition in it because it's already been put up this long and everything. I mean, but if you bring it back to the states, we could actually change it, and I believe that's going to happen.
So I did some research yesterday that says 14% of school lunches funding comes from the federal government. Why? And this was from I have the
Yeah.
research notes here, but why is it that 14% funding that comes from them, why are they able to control everything that we do?
That's a good question. They shouldn't be able to when we're funding the rest of
Right.
it. I mean, that's a little percentage.
It is.
If I own 14% in your
There's no way you
here,
can tell me.
Can I tell you what to do?
No, I'll just send you some
That's what
results
I'm
and
saying.
tell you, hey, look,
you
this is
gonna
what
tell
we did this
we
week.
made $2. That's what you're gonna get, and I have no choice but to take it.
That's right. And so getting it back to the state, and you'll be perfectly positioned, if you're successful as ag commissioner, but also in the Senate, to make our state sovereign and when they give the rights back to the states, making sure that we don't get in these positions anymore, right?
I would hope so. The Senate is very locked in doing stuff for Alabama. I mean, we have made some tough decisions the last few years, and in the last 14 years, we've paid off every debt Alabama had when the Republicans took over. It's took a while, but we don't owe anything.
Okay.
We have a heck of a savings account built up where our schools won't go into probation and stuff. And I mean, the Republicans has done a lot to get things in order.
Yeah.
Because if we do have a bad year or something on taxes and stuff, because we're going to have it eventually. I would say we were probably having it now, but I don't think as much because the product has went up for what we've lost. You go to a restaurant and eat, you're paying basically $10 or $15 more for your meals if you got a family. So that's $10 or $15 worth of more taxes coming out, So I think that from what I'm looking at the budgets and everything coming in, that's kind of what's taking the place,
So what
backfilling.
Will you be an advocate for some of that surplus money, taking some of that and giving it back to local farmers and helping to shore up some of this?
I think I'd be 100%. I know I would. I will be the first ag commissioner to be as hands-on as it's ever been.
Yes, sir.
Because I really believe, I mean, I'm already working on programs and stuff that I can't give out yet because I do have opponents and I'm not about to say what I'm going to do. But I mean, we're looking at bringing business to Alabama and helping them out to come here to help our farmers even. The more we can bring locally and have right here is the better, better we're going to be.
We'll pause just for a second. And it also says in 2022, we received $20.2 billion in funds from the federal government, making up 31.2% of our budget. They still get to tell us what to do with only 31% buy-in into what we do. In Alabama,
and we do have to remember that was during COVID.
That was during COVID.
That ain't gonna be here.
No,
I'm telling you.
And so we're kind of left to our own devices, right?
Yeah,
we're kind of left out here, and some of these programs that we had were based off getting those federal funds, and so some of those are going to probably go away.
They're going to go away.
Yeah.
There's no doubt. Now some of them may come back. Like I said, Alabama's probably one of the best situations with Trump where he's at. Alabama's always been for Trump.
Yes, sir.
Supported him really big, and so I really believe we'll get some stuff back that some of them may not get.
Let's talk about, was it Senate Bill SJR5, which was whenever you positioned in proposition for the lab-grown meat to be illegal, right?
Yes.
In our state.
That was a bill that honestly nobody brought to me, that I just come up with because I was watching 60 Minutes one night and seen them making chicken out of it. And so as we got into research, and I had people helping me do research, as we got into it, they were actually making salmon and tuna and beef and a little bit of everything, It was mostly people out of Silicon Valley that's invested in it and stuff. So we just don't have enough of testing on it to know what it would do to the general public. It's kind of like vaping. There would have been a lot more study done on it. Well, they need to be studied done on this. And NASA is. At the end, we granted NASA rights to go ahead and test it. We didn't ban them from testing it in case they ever need it in outer space. But we didn't know. There was programs coming on that was going to feed our military that meat to check them out. Let them, they get a shot for everything else. Why not give them this meat and stuff? But the people came down from California and threatened me. I mean,
you received some death threats, right?
Oh yeah, but at first they threatened me that they spent $1 million against me in an ag race. So I said, well, for me, I said that's probably the best thing you could do because I'm gonna promote Alabama grown meats, and you try to put that over on me, But yeah, we had death threats on it and stuff. You would never think that, for lab grown meat. I can see the vegetable burgers. I can't see them, but if you really want them, if it's healthy for you or something,
sure.
I can see that. I don't know why anybody want a hamburger that don't taste like a hamburger, or it tastes like a hamburger, but it ain't real.
Well, there's a lot of people that want a lot of things that are synthetic.
Yeah, that's what I say. So and that's fine, but something just made out of chemicals is not good.
And so, why do you think you received so much pushback? Or it wasn't. Let me ask this question again. Why is the minority so militant on issues like that, and they get away with being militant? Why is that?
On that meat bill, my Senate voted 30 people voted for it out of 34, and they probably wasn't there. I mean, that was the easiest bill for me to ever pass.
It seemed like it went through there pretty quick.
Oh, it went through real quick. It was kind of like a fencing bill, what we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
Now that was a harder bill because you're taking away money out of their system. You're taking away the taxes off something. And I do actually have one this year up now on taxes for the chicken growers to take off their excise tax on power and gas. That would really help them a lot because our chicken growers are hurting. I mean, you see all the price of chicken, it's kind of like the price of beef. What I mean is bloated, So if we can get that through, that would really help them. And that's the kind of bills I do. The same thing as me wanting to run for ag. I believe I have something to give back to the state of Alabama from a different viewpoint than anybody because I've been there.
Yes, sir.
And I've lived it. I've been through the Jimmy Carter days when money was rough. Paying it back was really rough, and stuff. So I just believe I've got more to offer than anybody on. It's not about innovation. It's just common sense, most of it, trying to help our farmers Innovation is not, it comes out there, but we can't afford what we're buying now. Most of your farmers are 60 years old and older. They don't need more innovation, I promise you. They can't operate what they got half of it.
Why? I know you just touched on it a little bit, and we're almost done. But why should people vote for you for Ag Commission?
Well, for the first reason, I'm the best qualified candidate. Go back and look at my record on what I've voted for and what I've done in my career. I'm not a politician, never wanted to be. The community asked me to run, and I stepped up and run. But as far as me running for Ag Commissioner, like I say, I just think I have more to offer. And I think if you listen to this podcast today, you'll see that I have ideas, and I'm looking out for the interest of the farmer, not nobody else. We do all the food testing there, of course. I've toured the place several times. Do I know everything about it? No. Rick didn't when he went in. Commissioner Pate didn't when he went in. He told me he didn't, you know. But we have some good people there. I believe we could get rid of some regulations, especially if we get more give back to the state, to make things a lot easier on the farmer, you know.
Yes, sir. Well, do you have anything else you want to add? You got any questions for me?
No, I got me 2 steaks from you. I'm gonna eat tonight.
Thank you so much.
I'm
Thank
paying
you.
for them though.
Thank you so much.
Make that clear. But
well, I forgot to give you this when we first started, but we give everybody some of our steak butter. Our season, those go really good on your steaks. And man, I thank you so much for coming.
Well, thank you.
It really means a lot to me.
Enjoyed it.
Yes, sir. Hey guys, if y'all made it to the end of this video, it means a lot to me. Thank you for watching. Please hit the bell for notifications, like, subscribe, follow. You can check out all of our current events on our webpage and our social media. You can sign up on our newsletter. Any way that you can get involved, we'd love to have you as we bring farm to table to reality. Thank you again. Have a good day.